Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by bringing you to a falafel shop in Baghdad, Iraq. Now you might not think falafel could be particularly interesting. A humble food that's easy to make and even easier to make bland, in Baghdad falafel is an art. And I've had some good falafels in this part of the world, Lebanon, Egypt, but Al-Atshan here in Baghdad makes what might be the best in the world. I would have never made it here though if it weren't for my Kareem driver, Mohammed. By chance it was he who picked me up from my hotel in the middle of a sandstorm. We were able to roughly communicate in Swedish, I'll get back to that bit later, and once he found out the falafel shop I was originally planning on visiting, he enthusiastically recommended what he said was easily the best falafel place in Baghdad. Far be it for me to turn down a local food recommendation. So the way I got here, I was actually on my way to another falafel place, but I started talking with my Kareem driver, who recommended this place, which he said was much better than the place I was going to. So I was like, all right, I think I'll give it a shot. So we pulled up here, and they're making the falafel. You order basically at the register. Once you put in your order, with lots of help from my driver Mohammed, who was just absolutely one of the nicest guys ever. Put in the order, and then they make your falafel as everybody's waiting around, and then you put in your order, and you go next door from where they're cooking, where they're making and serving the falafel. You go next door, and then you have a seat where you can enjoy the meal. Al-Atshan is split in two, a restaurant section that seats about 25 people, and then what I'll call the Falafel Factory, where this guy, a master of organization, efficiency, and patience, takes orders from the crowds of people here for a lunch break. And these are no regular falafel. Freshly baked bread in the shape of an eye, a Baghdad staple, is split in half right after it leaves the oven. A base of tahini and roasted eggplant sits below a layer of falafel balls, which are fried in a constant rotation, then topped with a salad of cucumber, tomatoes, french fries, pickles, and a tangy mango sauce. Add some more falafel on top and you have an Al-Atshan special. So falafel is not typically known as an entire meal, it's more of a snack. And you can see a lot of guys coming up here in line to get a snack for the day, but this wouldn't be like a full lunch. So it's more of a stop, and this place seems very popular, which is a good sign for the food because there are just so many people waiting in line to eat. Alright, so this is the falafel. It just comes in this huge pocket, and I have to admit the driver was telling us this place was really good, and it turns out it's easily the best falafel I've ever had in my life. This is the second one. We've got white bread here, which is baked fresh daily here, and it's really fresh. Like, it's really fresh, and the bread is just so soft. We've got falafel, which are chickpeas balls in here. We've also got cucumber, tomato, and on top of it a spicy mango sauce as well, and a layer of potatoes all underneath. Alright, so just kind of close up this little pocket like that. Now I'm going to take a little bite of this, of the falafel. And the falafel is so crunchy on the outside. Honestly, if you've ever had a falafel and you thought the ball is like dry or it's like doesn't have flavor, this will change your opinion on falafel because it is the best one I've ever had in my life, hands down. Alright, so I just took another bite out of there, and you can see I've hit this layer that has hummus in there. It's really warm hummus, and again, adding a lot of flavor to what is really just a typical street food here. And the beauty of this is that everything is just fit in there so perfectly. Things are not like overflowing and spilling, and you really get a lot of the ingredients perfectly packed into this little bread pocket, which is the perfect size for this. But here is the secret, is the mango sauce. So it's kind of like a mustard mango sauce. It has a little bit of sweetness and has a little bit of that mustard taste. So it's a very strong mustard taste with sweetness, so almost like a honey mustard, and then a little bit of spice to it. So it's just a little bit spicy. And as I eat into the bottom there, we have also some eggplant It looks huge and it is a pretty big falafel, but honestly, it's not super filling, like it's not super heavy. And inside this cafe here, you've also got some shawarma, you've got some basically meat on a spit, chicken and beef as well that's going around. You can cut sandwiches. They're also making other kinds of sandwiches. It's pretty organized. You have some prep there, but if it wasn't for our driver, just happened to be the Kareem driver who showed up, if it wasn't for him and this suggestion, I would have never found out about this place. So I'll leave a link to the address down in the description. You can check it out right under the subscribe button. So if you come here, you can have this because you really shouldn't miss it. It's really great. What's your name? I just met some kids who were wondering why I was filming myself eating and found my YouTube channel, so that was pretty cool. But this is one of the just fantastic experiences I've had here, and it's already like the first time I've been out of the hotel. So really warm, really welcoming place. People are very friendly, very curious, and this is just one of the best falafels I've ever had, and it's just a great meal. So I'm happy I made here, and I'm happy I just happen to be conversing with the Kareem driver. So definitely worth speaking a few words to the language and making things happen. I kept eating and eating, with the people around me patiently waiting for me to finish so they could politely introduce themselves and curiously ask what I was doing in Baghdad, if I was enjoying my time, and for some photos. The hospitality from everyone, including Mohammed, who joined me for the meal and tea afterward, was incredible. He would not let me pay for anything. Mohammed had been living in Sweden for years and then returned back home to Iraq to care for his mother. We talked a little bit about our lives and told jokes over black tea, which is served here with disturbing amounts of sugar. I couldn't have asked for a better welcome to Baghdad. Thank you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for new videos down below, and I'll see you in the next video. That was awesome.